Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We are representing the CPA & Co. to present our business proposal of ZFC Limited. We are Team S013 and I am Chao Yui Zhou. He is Mok Ji-ho and he is Lam Chet Heng. CPA & Co. is a professional service firm with physical offices in more than 150 countries. Also, we in total have more than 250,000 staffs in the world. We provide professional audit and assurance, advisory, consulting, and tax services to our clients.
So, to start with, here is the financial analysis of ZFC. Due to the big pandemic, started from 2020, the profitability of ZFC has been hugely affected. The gross profit of ZFC was worsened, net profit either. Also, the return of capital employed has a significant decreasing rate. Move on to the liquidity. Without a doubt, the liquidity is also weakened with the plummeted financial performance, which having ZFC become unable to pay off the short-term obligation, and in result, the financial health of ZFC has been seriously damaged.
After a financial analysis, we will now analyze ZFC's business operation through SWOT analysis. First, the strengths. ZFC has a long history of development and healthy reputation. ZFC also has very elite staffs, ensures that the creativity of the products are sufficient. Besides that, ZFC has a large number of outlets, which secures ZFC a strong and firm position in the market. Moving on, we will discuss the weaknesses. The production of ZFC is largely outsourced, leading to insufficient control over the production quality and the quantity. Moreover, the market insights of ZFC is also lacked. There are a large number of unsold products after each season. ZFC also lacks a formal mission statement, a target to be presented to the market, employees, and the customers. After the internal factors, we will now discuss some external factors. First, the opportunities. The blooming technological advancement provides a large growth in the international e-commerce fashion market. Besides that, the fast fashion culture also increases the growth of fashion market. Furthermore, ZFC's elite design teams ensures that the development of ZFC will be much safer due to their world-class experience of competing in the fashion market. Lastly, the threats. The business environment is still recovering and thus unstable due to the impact of COVID-19. Other than that, the increasing price of raw materials, land rents, labor costs may stifle the development of ZFC. Moreover, a booming fashion market also creates intense competition. It would be more difficult for ZFC to stand out and hold on to the leading position in the fashion market.
In the next section, we will provide 4 advices to tackle the Eric Cam's incident. Here is the big picture. The major objectives of our provided advices is to first minimize the impacts to ZFC and also to prioritize ZFC's interests. So to start with, we suggest ZFC to establish a legal compliance team to internally investigate the incident. LCT is responsible for finding out the details of the incident, and members of LCT should be formed by the third parties, such as lawyers outside ZFC, because it can avoid bias and conflict of interest. The second advice is to arrange meeting with the top management after the internal investigation. So the LCT, after the investigation of LCT, they need to announce the investigation results to the top management, and the top management should have meetings to discuss the solutions and ways to tackle the Eric Cam's incident. And based on ZFC's current development, one of the possible recommendations we would like to recommend is to ask Eric Cam to use the large personal profit to purchase ZF Libra clothes to the minorities and properties in China, to try to let the public know ZFC is trying their best to fulfill social responsibility.
And here is the third advice. We think that SafeSC, as a publicly listed company, is responsible to disclose and report the incident to the public. Therefore, having an apologize statement would be needed. A press conference and a business report are suggested to build up the professional image, confidence to the public on SafeSC after the incident occurred. Also, we recommend to setting a public relations team to help better minimizing the negative impact to SafeSC. And here is the fourth advice. While tackling the incident in front of the public, we think that there will be a nice opportunity to SafeSC right after the incident occurred to review, adjust, and implement some new company rules to perform a better internal operation. The aim of new rules is to remind employees to have a sense that the interests of the whole SafeSCs should be prioritized rather than their own interests. And here is the problem statement. For the problem statement, the problem of SafeSC has been undergoing could be divided in internal and external. For internal, there will be problems about production, ordering approach, and no mission statement. For external, problems would be rise in costs, closed stores, potential threats in China, and stringent environment policy.
Moving on will be our recommendation regarding business strategies. We highly recommend SafeSC to continue the operation model of separating into two brands, Zodiac Fashion, who focuses on the high-end fashion, and CF Libra, who focuses on the youth market. Here's the big picture of business strategy that we recommend for SafeSC. The first category is daily operation. In terms of products, for both companies, SafeSC should introduce more convenient and in-house clothing products. Due to the increased demand for casual wears caused by the uprising trend of work from home. For Zodiac Fashion, the focus should be turned mainly from high-end fashion wear to a balanced mix between seasonal-based fashion and casual wears. For CF Libra, continuing the focus on casual clothing would be fantastic. While the company should also try selling surprise bags containing unsold products as a new strategy to expand the market. Moreover, the company should donate the unsold stocks to NGOs such as charities to increase the company's reputation and promote social responsibility. In terms of production, for both companies, SafeSC should diverge the location of factories into different parts of Middle Asia in order to diverse business risks and lower the production costs. Also introducing automation production machine, thus the quality of products could be stable with no human errors. For CF Libra, the promotion of just-in-time purchase is much needed, hence allowing more precise production with less wastage. For Zodiac Fashion, the company should produce less products to create a market shortage, increase the company's high-end image since the products are less accessible. Furthermore, the company should introduce customized products, such as airports, with customized names or logos printed on the products, to increase the customer's sense of participation and satisfaction as a supporter of the Zodiac Fashion. In terms of stores, overall speaking, online stores should be widely implemented. On the other hand, for CF Libra, seasonal promotional campaigns should be arranged. This includes discounted products, surprise bags, or to increase customers' interest in the products. Besides that, setting up experimental vending machines to act as a measure of propaganda expanding the company's reputation.
The fourth and fifth recommendations will be under the category customers management. So let's talk about promotion first. We recommend Zodiac Fashion to continue hire top fashion models and having advertisement in high circulation magazines. But for CF Libra, we suggest CF Libra can cooperate with KOL and ask KOL to post advertisements on their social media pages. For example, in this slide, you can see there are online celebrities having YouTube videos and Instagram posts having the trial of the company's clothing products. And if CF Libra apply this strategy, it can increase the appearance of CF Libra's products to teenagers. The next recommendation will be on customer relationships. We suggest both companies to introduce a membership program. including discounts for or some professional after-sales services to members. It can increase customer satisfaction and customer loyalty to ZFC. And the third category will be about competitors. We will provide a number of recommendations to deal with China competitor. So first of all, we suggest ZFC to set up partnerships with semi-leading fashion companies in China. So through the partnerships, ZFC can understand more the China fashion industry, the operation of China fashion industry. And also, echo with the previous suggestions on promotions, ZFC can also invite mainland KOLs to post advertisements on their social media pages, such as TikTok. And the next category will be staff management. ZFC should provide sufficient monetary and non-monetary rewards to the staffs. Besides, staff is an important asset to the company. Therefore, ZFC can set up an internal online opinion platform to let staffs to anonymously provide suggestions and ideas on ZFC's development.
And here, the last category will be to fulfill the social responsibility. So here are the three ways to ZFC to show their social responsibility. The first one could be having a proper, clear, and attractive mission statement. The second one would be to deal with the environmental issues. And the last one, to aim to nurture the next generation. And as a conclusion, the above slides are the suggestion of us to enhance the current conduction of ZFC in different aspects.
Thank you, team. Number S013.
Good morning to all the senior executives of the Zodiac Fashion Company Limited. We are professional accountants of CPA & Co. It's our pleasure to present our proposal for your company to cope with its challenges. I'm Li Yui-Sin Zoe.
I'm Yang Xin-Yi Anna.
I'm Feng Yiping Frida.
I'm Ho Yi Lam Elaine.
Our presentation will be divided into 5 parts. We've analyzed the company's performance and investigated the case of acquisition of wrong fashion shares. After that, we'll give advice on the case and then suggest business strategies for the company. Implementation plan and financial projections will be shown for supporting our presentation afterward. Lastly, we'll briefly introduce our services that your company would consider helpful. First, let's start with business and financial analysis. Regarding profitability, the chart clearly shows that all ratios are in negative percentage because of decrease in turnover under COVID-19 and ineffective control on costs. For the efficiency, it is highlighted that accounts receivable collection period has increased by more than 1 time, and the uncollectible debts ratio is indeed 12.64% after eliminating the window dressing effect. For the liquidity, as you can see, both ratios are below the norm. The company may be incapable of settling current liabilities. Finally, for the investment and risk ratio, there is sudden increase in gearing ratio due to financing from long-term bank loan.
Let's move on to SWOT analysis. In terms of strengths, CFC has a good reputation with high quality and fashion products. Also, your company has talent fashion designers who can design more than 15,000 new fashion in a year. Besides, the company has many retail store and hotel store worldwide, which shows a global distribution network. However, your company's production processes rely heavily on external manufacturers and do not use the just-in-time system effectively. Besides, kids fashion faces a decreasing trend, and the company lacks a mission statement. These factors have negative impacts on sales. Concerning the opportunities, young people's higher consuming power will create the potential for company sales. Also, mainland of China is a potential market for the companies, where there is better control on pandemic. To cater for modern consumption patterns, an ecosystem can be adopted with a tailored technologies. Strict environmental protection policy can also enhance the company's image. However, there are some threats that the company is facing. One of these is the impact of COVID-19. It leads to a sharp decline in global sales, and the rising price of raw material and labor have also increased the production costs. At the same time, the depreciation of euro lowered the value of turnover. Finally, there is a major competitor, Platinum Fashion Limited, which have 25% market share in the mainland of China that directly competes with CFC.
Let me talk about the recent incident of acquisition of wrong fashion shares. In 2018, Eric, an operation director in CFC's, bought share of Wrong Fashion Limited Foods, a company owned by his mother-in-law, and recommend the CFC's board directors to buy the shares. Based on Eric's behavior, he breached his duty owed to CFC under company ordinance, as he failed to disclose material interests and the transaction with wrong. Also, Eric breached the Hong Kong listing rules and security and future ordinance, as he failed to avoid insider trading. Eric also breached a guide of directors' duty issued by the company registry due to no good faith, conflict of interest, and transaction without CFC's approvals. For this violation, he posted of operation director should be suspended immediately, and the case should be reported to the Hong Kong Exchange and Security and Future Commission of Investigation. Despite the whistleblower, Peter inappropriately have into Eric's personal information. Peter is suspended of having committed the fifth ordinance. Therefore, Peter post-deputy operations should also be suspended immediately. Please note that if Eric is held not guilty, Peter will be liable of Eric's claim under law of tort.
In the following part, I will explain the recommendations on business strategies. First, our team suggests that CFC should write up a vision statement which can capture its corporate policies. The sales are expected to increase by 10%. Then, CFC should make donations to environmental conservation and protection organizations. This action can further improve the corporate image and raise customer confidence on its products. Next, CFC is encouraged to co-brand with animation studios for production of clothes which are featured with cartoon characters. This can effectively boost the sales volume and help market penetration. Apart from that, our team suggests that CFC should hold advertisement online. It can engage different groups of customers easily in their daily life. CFC can upload promotion videos and hold live shows onto social media, such as Twitch, rather than publish magazines. It is estimated there will be 8% increase in sales income. Besides, CFC should expand the market share and set up production facilities in the mainland of China, where there is effective control the COVID-19 pandemic and the labor quality is high. Through their wage is increasing, it can be set off by raising their productivity through proper training. Furthermore, the company should strengthen its edge on production of high-quality clothes at affordable price. Since CFC's reputation is already built up in the fashion industry, this can drive out pendulum fashions for its segment in long run. Although CFC has implemented a just-in-time system, it's not mature enough. The company can organize training courses on using the system for its staff after training on increasing the profitabilities and using just-in-time system. For its staff and workers, it is estimated the cost of goods sold would become about 40.9% of sales, and the staff cost may also drop down to about 15.9% of sales. For hedging purpose, CFC can sell euro forward contracts and avoid the loss of euro depreciation that would increase 3% of revenue. CFC can also long cotton futures contracts and hedging raising cotton costs. Next, CFC can upgrade the ESOP system with incorporation of ABCD elements, which includes artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud storage, and data analytics. These elements can analyze each customer's purchase habit and help to increase the sales. Lastly, strengthened credit policy on credit sales from wholesale store can help CFC to reduce bad debts. It is suggested to use cash discount policy and restrict payment term to 31 to 60 days only.
We have evaluated the change in cost and turnover based on the above recommendations. According to the implementation plan, we can see that the total implementation cost is estimated at $120 million in 2021. The turnover is expected to be more than $24 billion in 2021, which will increase by 56.41% compared to the previous year, meaning an excellent improvement. Apart from that, the financial projection illustrated that the company's performance will improve in the future. As the diagram shows, it is expected that the operating loss of about $5 billion in 2020 will turn into more than $2.5 billion operating profit in 2023. It is also projected that CFC performance will gradually improve from a net loss of nearly $5 billion in 2020 to eventually enjoy a net profit after taxation of more than $2 billion in 2023. In addition, CFC shareholders will enjoy acceptable dividend per share, and the EPS will be $0.85 and $2.15 in 2022 and 2023 respectively. Now, I would like to draw your attention to CPAC professional services. First, audit and assurance. Concerning the recent incidents, we can give advice on the subsequent events and contingent liabilities that may arise from the dealing. Also, we can give advice on the fundraising to maintain CFC financial sustainability. Second, consulting. We are available to provide training on raising the productivity of CFC workers by face-to-face or via online mode. We can also enhance the existing ESOP system. Third, we can give advice on tax minimization by using transfer price so that CFC effective global tax rates can be reduced from 20% to 60%. Lastly, advisory. We can give advice on the market operations for long futures contracts and short forward contracts. We can also give advice on the probable outcomes of legal decisions. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Team number S001.
Good morning, adjudicators and everyone. I'm Lian Xing Joshua.
I'm Yu Teng Teng Carol.
I'm Chang Nok San Justin.
I'm Song Wei Peng Kelvin.
We are representatives from CP, and today we are going to present our case study on Zodiac Fashion Company Limited.
And our agenda includes... And our agenda includes all the stuff that shows here. Let's begin with the executive summary and business analysis. We have used SWOT analysis to help us to understanding the environment of ZFC. We will also discuss the incident, financial analysis, strategy planning, and implementation of ZFC. So talking about the business analysis, ZFC is a fashion company based in Hong Kong with two international brands, Zodiac Fashion and ZF Libra. So before we carry on our analysis of ZFC, I would like to introduce our company. As you may already know that our company is an international and professional service company, and we have rich experiences in providing services such as auditing, assurance and consulting, and taxation and advisement services.
So let's move on to the strategic analysis. So our team has used SWOT analysis to identify the various attributes of ZFC. Let's start off with the strengths. Firstly, we felt that one of the first strengths is that ZFC has a very strong in-house design team that has a very strong international reputation and also have a high annual output of 15,000 designs per year. It is able to keep up with the demand of each fashion seasons. The second strength of CFC is also its corporate image. It has a very positive reputation among the general public because it recognizes employee, human, and also social rights. And it also has strict adherence to sustainable business practices, which creates the image of a trusted company among the general public. Thirdly, CFC also have a very good eco-friendly focus by declaring that its products are free of animal fur and skin. It helps to create interest among the more environmentally conscious consumers, especially among the younger generation. Lastly, we felt that a global distribution network of CFC is also a very good attribute. It is because it has retail stores and wholesale stores across the globe in many notable important locations such as Hong Kong, China, Japan, and also in Europe. It tries to secure that its products is able to reach a wide amount of consumers in many more international renowned locations. However, we also have some weaknesses. Firstly, the first weakness that we identify is the over-concentration of business in Europe. Actually, in 2018 to 2020, we identified that over 80% of its sales are actually concentrated in Europe. This creates a vulnerability that whenever Europe has imposed any, the European Union has introduced any policy changes or any natural disaster, this can have drastic impacts on the revenue of CFC. Another weakness of CFC is also its inventory overstock. As a fashion company, a lot of their fashion products are difficult to be sold off during off seasons, and actually it will lead to accumulation of leftover products. While CFC has attempted to address the problem implementing a just-in-time system, it is not overly effective due to communication delays with the external suppliers. Lastly, there's another problem, which is decrease in profitability in wholesales and retail stores. Due to COVID measures, a lot of traveling has actually decreased, and actually it leads to decrease in customers across the globe. And actually a lot of stores are operating at a loss due to overhead costs such as utilities and rent. With overhead costs and also reduced profit, actually a lot of stores across the globe are operating at a loss.
And considering the opportunities, the Chinese market is a potential market for ZFC because it has less been affected than other markets under the pandemic, and it's also expected to recover shortly as the chart shows. Besides that, e-commerce should be valued. Customer behavior has changed because of the convenience provided by the technology, and online buying is become more and more popular. We can see that although the value of fashion industry has reduced, its share value from e-commerce has been upward, and this trend is likely to continue. Moreover, the online retail sales of China are more than the 10 next largest market in the world combined, and this suggests that ZFC should consider creating the e-commerce, and especially in China. And let's talk about the threat. The first one is the decline in the globalization of fashion industry. We can see that the number of companies that are value destroyers of this industry might increase since the profit of it fallen by 90% in 2020. Moreover, we found that the profit of ZFC has also decreased, as mentioned, and we suggest that ZFC should try to avoiding become one of the value destroyers. Moreover, many industries are laying off employees to reduce their expenses, and this might reduce the purchasing power of consumers, and which might lead to the decrease in market demand. Meanwhile, ZFC has a problem of overstock, as we mentioned before, so the decrease in market demand is a big problem of ZFC, and its revenue might be affected. Other one is the effect brought by the COVID-19. Customer behavior has changed as there are travel restrictions, city lockdown, and digital services are preferred as the result of that. But the profit of ZFC is mainly comes from the physical retail stores, as previously mentioned. Moreover, the high-end fashion item decreased due to the reduction in face-to-face activity, which might affect ZFC's income. And the last one is that the factor costs are increasing. The cost of materials and labors is upward, and which might indicate an increase in the production cost of clothing, and this might affect ZFC's profit.
Okay. In the recent incident, Eric Kam, the director of ZFC, recommends the company to acquire Ron Fashion, a private company. However, it recommends without noticing the company of his purchase on shares. In this case, Eric Kam had broken the BOPO and shall be guilty of an offense. There are some ethical considerations. Firstly, as a director of a company, must act in good faith. Also, always, the director touchstone must be the interest of the company as a whole. In this case, a conflict of interest is resulted. The price to acquire Ron Fashion of ZFC is higher than the price that Eric purchased, which harms the interest of the company. To solve this incident, we suggest to apply our advisory team, which provide help to solve the law issue and further arrangement in this incident. Also, we suggest that to establish an anonymous complaint mechanism is needed to allow employee to complain anonymously and letting the independently exceptional team to manage the complaint.
Speaking of the financial analysis, here is the profitability, liquidity, and return on interest. And as we can see, all of it is decreasing, and it has a higher risk of distress and default, and have a lower sales. And to overcome these problems, we can have strategic planning by optimize the supply chain by creating an incentive or bonus to suppliers. And it can ensure that the suppliers follow the just-in-time purchasing systems and reach the order in the deadline. And by providing sales forecasts earlier, they can have a rough image of the number of materials, labors, and working hours required to finish the order, so they can have more time to do preparation and consolidating or changing suppliers. As we all know that the China market cotton price is increasing, but we can also find other suppliers in other countries to lower the production costs. And as mentioned in opportunity in sports, the establishing e-shops in more countries it can unnecessary to worry about the obstacle in brick and mortar stores, like high expense, and since running an online shop requires a lower cost. And advertising on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube can spread our brand name, so they can attract more people to buy our products. And the producing local clothing to suit to the customer taste, so the locals feel more cordial and willing to buy the products.
For the long-term strategic planning, we suggest to centralize the production line to improve the just-in-time purchase system, to strengthen the relationship between the company and the supplier, and also reduce the lead time during the manufacturing process. Also, the company has a manufacturing subsidiary in mainland China. As the company is going to expand its business in mainland China, we suggest to centralize the production line in this subsidiary and it will be more easier to manage and reduce the transportation costs. Also, next, to expand business in mainland China, we can use the experience of Ron Fashion, as it is experienced in design fashion clothing for market in Asia, to create our new product to cater the customer in mainland China. Also, the ZFC also have focus on high quality of product. It may have a more competitive than Platinum Fashion new brand, as its new brand isn't well developed.
And this is the implementation recommended by us. We believe that with the suggestion we provided, the high cost and the production capability problem could be solved. Thank you.
Thank you, team number S021. Good morning, I'm Nitingnam Polly.
I'm Chankawa Jessica.
I'm Somailing Mandy.
I'm Sowai Annie. Good morning, judges, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SODIA's Board of Director meeting. Good morning, Eric. What will we going to discuss in our meeting today?
Good morning, Herman, Mr. Chairman. Today we will discuss our proposal on how to tackle our issue in our companies. In today's agenda, we will explain our SWOT analysis first, then we will give the financial analysis, and we will tackle the issue in our company, which are the insider dealing incidents, and finally we will give the recommendation in our company to improve our business operations. We will start at the SWOT analysis first. For strength, our company has a long history and a good reputation in the fashion industry. It has a large internal team of fashion designers and it has a good ethical standard and received many international awards. The just-in-time purchasing system adds value in its production process. For weakness, the always changing trends of fashions with causes SODIAs to pile up outdated stock. The cost management is not working efficiently, leading to high operating costs. The weak enforcement of corporate governance, leading to, as seen in Eric insider dealing case. And as Eric may be future CEO, his behavior is significant to SODIA too. For opportunities, the environmental protection policies will be implemented in SODIA productions. The increasing trend of online shopping is due to the pandemic. SODIA shops should be revamped. Demands for men's fashion increased. Is a potential market for SODIA too.
For threats, pneumonia outbreak and threats from competitors are real challenges. Heavy reliance on outsourced manufacturing in China, making SODIAs unable to control the cost of production. It should make a good use of its manufacturing subsidiary in China. As there are more regulations on environmental pollution, SODIA will reduce the pollution during the pollution process. Exchange rate devaluation in Europe causes the exchange loss.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Mandy from CPA & Co. will explain the financial analysis to us.
I will explain the financial analysis. First, for profitability, the gross profit ratio has dropped by around 4%. Net profit ratio has decreased to a larger extent to 50%. Operating margin has also dropped for more than 50%. Return on capital employed has also dropped significantly over 100%. This is worsened by the new bank loan borrowing that created a finance cost of 28 million and a rise in gearing ratio to 33%. For efficiency, inventory turnover ratio increased by 69 days more, which reflects that inventories are obsolete and pile up. Customers also delayed the payments, making the trade receivable ratio increased by 42 days. As the cash and cash equivalents have dropped by 69 Zodiac is facing cash flow problems and delayed the payments to creditors by more than 3 months. For liquidity, we can see the worsening of clearance ratio and quick ratio. Zodiac may face risk of forced liquidation by creditors if liquidity didn't improve.
Thank you, Ms. Mandy, for the financial analysis. Eric, how should we settle your insider dealing incident?
Mr. Chairman, I'm really sorry for my ads. I thought of some solution with Mrs. John, our warehouse supervisor, yesterday.
Good morning, Mr. Eric. These are the outdated stock.
How long are they?
Already 8 years.
They are already outdated. Throw them away.
But they are new and good.
This so dear policy. Throw them away.
Okay. Why we need to throw them away? They are new and good.
Hi, Mom. Do you have enough money to buy my dress for the graduation?
Not yet. Sorry.
Wow, they are very pretty. You guys already. Thank you, Mom. Wow, very beautiful. For the first time in forever, there be magic, there be fun. For the first time in forever, I be dancing through the night. For the first time in forever, at least I got a chance.
Mr. John, who is she?
Sorry, Mr. Eric. She's my daughter, Mandy. She needs a dress for the graduation. But I'm from a low-income family. How can I buy one for her?
Mandy, you like the dress very much?
Yes, I've never seen such a beautiful dress.
It's okay. Yes, I think we can donate our outdated clothes to the needy. To differentiate this item, we can stick this logo to indicate this our donation that gives people
happiness, warmth, and love. Wonderful.
You are very kind, Mr. Eric. Mandy, you are late for school. Please leave now.
Ah, yes. Bye, Mr. Eric. Bye, Mom.
Bye. Mr. Chairman, do you support my idea of clothes donation?
Of course, yes. It's a good idea. But how about your profits earned from your insider dealing incident?
To show my confessions, I will donate my profit earned from the private share dealing to a new charity fund. It can subsidize school fee, living allowance of our staff.
It's a good idea. I have also thought of some recommendations on business strategies. First, risk diversification by vertical integration in different countries to shorten the lead time. Next, hire part-time staff to replace full-time employees. We can have more flexibility in staffing. Whittling down the physical store in developed countries and change it to online store which have advanced technologies. Establishing a complete after-sales service which have with speed product delivery. Setting up a membership system to increase customer loyalty.
Yes. I know that Michael from CPA and Co. will explain some recommendation and give us a advice to Zodiac too. Welcome, Michael.
Mr. Chairman, our firm can provide data analysis of your customer's platform connect through eShop. Soldiers can also carry out diversification of the fashionable products in casual wear, kids wear, and menswear. Soldiers should more promote through social media in China, because China sales only cover 10% turnover. Our CPA firm can help soldiers to strengthen your internal control system to prevent another transaction to gain personal advantage again happens. This can be done by carrying out ethical education to enhance the ethical awareness of employees.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you, Michael. With all your efforts, I think Soldier will have a bright year ahead.
Hooray!
Thank you for watching our presentations.
Thank you, team number S011.
Turmoil has arisen from the pandemic, and we understand that Zodiac is undergoing critical situations for the last 2 years. As CPA Co., we are sure that we are going to help guide you to a better future. As every threat is an opportunity, it's an honor to be here. Good morning, I'm Casey Mann, and here are Chang Clinton Jeffens and Poon Yiki. In our agenda, we're going to mainly focus on 2 points: recent incidents requiring urgent solutions, and recommendations suggested from us to help the company prosper.
So, what's so distinctive about Zodiac from its competitors? So, the brand focus on being eco-company. So there's a lot of young potential customers out there who are waiting for you as they care about the environment so much. So, according to a survey from United Nations, about 89% of respondents think that making a difference in climate change is very important. So, I think that there's so many young potential customers out there, we should increase focus on young customers and ZF Libra branding. On the contrary, cotton prices have been rising so much. So, we recommend you that you switch your suppliers to India, which is the lowest cotton supplier right now, and switch your raw materials to polyester. After that, many people think that stringent environmental policy is actually quite a threat. But actually, if you change the way you think, when you follow rules and regulations and keep your promises in being an environmental policy, it makes you trustworthy and also gain customer loyalty. And finally, for an unstable environment, well, a lot of people think or misunderstanding that right now, making money is really hard. According to CEO American Express company, Steve Squeri, he said that Gen Zs and millennials have spent more than before, than the pandemic, as vaccines proliferated. So let me tell you what, the company is going in the right direction in being eco-company, but maybe you can shift your focus on young customers, like expanding ZF Libra products.
Now, let's move on to the next topic, which is financial analysis. We'll analyze the financial performance of your company from 3 perspectives: profitability, liquidity, and management efficiency. First of all, as you can see, the gross profit ratio and the net profit ratio are all decreased. It indicates that your company was less profitable and in poor financial health in 2020. Secondly, we found that the ratio of liquidity of a company are also decreased sharply, and it is reminded that your company may have difficulty in paying short-term liabilities. Thirdly, it is noticed that the ratios of management efficiency are also decreasing, and suggests that your company is becoming less efficient at creating assets and also increasing the shareholders' values. In conclusion, your company was in poor financial health in 2020, and it is recommended to improve the performance as soon as possible. Detailed suggestions and services provided by us, CPA & Co., will be mentioned later. Now, we'll focus on the recent incident. It is known that in 2018, the incident related to the operation director of your company has negatively affected your company's image. To help your company adjust the crisis, we would like to propose the 5S crisis management principle. The 5S represents 5 different measures which are shouldering, sincerity, speed, systematization, and standardization. Firstly, in terms of shouldering, we strongly believe that developing a list of codes of ethics can help your investors to know more about the regulations and rules in the workplace, and also your company should promise to protect the investors' rights. Secondly, we strongly suggest you to hold a media luncheon so that you can communicate with the media directly and also avoid any misunderstandings about the incident. Thirdly, in terms of speed, we advise you to first release a short statement about the incident and then invite an inspector to investigate the affairs of the company.
Fourthly, Zodiac should develop crisis management procedures and team involved as to prevent hindrance and vagueness in the problems. And fifthly, Zodiac should invite authoritative print media and broadcast to analyze companies' positions and work with CPA as to increase the transparency and build positive image. As crisis becomes before opportunity, here we will introduce some recommendations to you. We have divided them into 3 parts. The first part is improve operating policies. For currency issue, most of Zodiac's costs are in Hong Kong dollars, while most of its incomes are in euros. So there are losses from adverse exchange rate movements. So we suggest that Zodiac can buy or sell currency at a specific exchange rate under currency options, so that the cost of due to the exchange rate can be estimated. Secondly, in light of the pandemic, retail stores were closed because of the lockdown, and Zodiac suffers losses. So developing e-shops can allow customers to shop without time and location restrictions, and customers can get their goods via various ways. For Zodiac, not only the sales revenue can be guaranteed, but more information related to customers' preference can be collected.
So let's move on to deliver e-shops. So about 50% of Europe has national and local lockdowns. So it might be better if we open an e-shop right now. So what the benefits are in? There's no logo and time restrictions. Also, you can collect goods through various ways, like offline to online shops and delivery.
As for inventories, Zodiac has been facing a problem of having many unsold inventories at the end of each season. So holding end of season sales allows the company to clear old stocks and release some space for storing new inventories. Not only it does benefits for storage, but the sales can also be encouraged despite the economic downturn. By offering discounts, you may also lure customers away from the competitors. When it comes to manufacturing, Zodiac relies much on many small suppliers in the past, which is not cost effective. To plug this loophole, we have 3 suggestions. The first and vital part is to increase your manufacturing subsidiary. Originally, Zodiac only produced less than 5% of your annual requirements, so increasing it to 15% can reduce the reliance of outsourcing. For labor, increasing the work shift and using more part-time workers can also help reduce the labor cost. Considering the short-term problems such as just-in-time purchasing, renting sewing machines can be useful because it can help test whether the way of increasing manufacturing subsidiaries will be useful, and it can also help replace the high cost of buying sewing machines in short run.
So let's move on to Ims System. So just-in-time purchasing is actually just partly effective. It requires external costs such as carriage cost and time cost with manufacturers. So we're going to introduce ERPS. Well, what are the benefits of it? There's an up-to-date inventory report, compare inventory level, and place reorders with wholesalers before running out. So we suggest periodic inventory. But why not perpetual inventory? At first, maybe your company has not coped with the Ims system yet. And also, periodic inventory is only for small businesses. Maybe there's a lot of human prone to error, but at least your employees can get used to Ims system first. And after that, we'll move on to perpetual system. Also, let's move on to spin selling strategy. So there's basically 4 things: situation, problem, implication, and need to pay off. So, by asking these questions, you can help deal with miscommunications and understanding. Well, let's move on. So where are we going to apply it? Like flagship stores, resale stores, or even questionnaires. But we focus on 3 things: We make these questions simple, clear, and answer the preference of the customer. And finally, it's about Eastern Europe. Well, we have 3 recommendations for you to put where your manufacturers are. Firstly, it's Turkey, Spain, and Romania. Well, they all have low labor costs because in Eastern Europe, the prices there are quite low. And especially the subcontracts are low. Well, if we do business transactions in Europe, it helps improve the economy. Also, it helps lower transportation costs there because in Eastern Europe, everything is quite cheap. One last thing, you can acquire Made in Europe label by manufacturing there. This improves the brand quality.
So the second part of the recommendation is to explore to mainland China market. When we enter new market, promotion and cooperations are required. So let's start with promotion. As you can see that China has a huge population and also the netizens populations. And many professional teams in mainland China specialize for scouting up potentials to be KOL, and they receive professional trainings. For example, KOL who promotes clothing should be nurtured by sufficient knowledge, and as their knowledge should attain a certain level, so their popularity should be guaranteed. And the method they use to promote is short video making and live stream sales. Apart from promotion, cooperation is also important. So we suggest the company to cooperate with Tmall. Tmall is an online business-to-consumer shopping platform launched by Alibaba Group, and it has cooperated with many notable brands like New Balance, Sony, and Levi's. So, and there are many users who are millennials, and they are from the first and second tier cities, which means that they have high consumption power. And here are the history of Tmall. The service fee is only 5,000. The one-time security fee only requires 50,000 RMB, while the annual service fee is only 60,000. The commission fee is also low, and the only special requirement is to open an Alipay compatible bank account.
So related to Platinum Fashion Limited, well, because there is promoting Tmall and using KOL to promote our products, we can say that it can help us to compete with Platinum Fashions.
This is the implementation plan up to 2023. We strongly recommend you to mainly focus on increasing your own manufacturing subsidiary, inventory management system, market research, and also exploring mainland China markets.
Well, for the contingency plan, it helps back surprise situations and reacting in a calm way. Also, Cpac and Co helps advise you as you work and solve with different problems.
Here we come to the financial projection.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming. On behalf of CPA and CON, I would like to welcome you all to listen our business proposal for Zodiac Fashion Company Limited. First, I would like to quickly introduce our team member. I'm Hong Yuan Haley.
I'm Mai Jie Zoe.
I'm Pikshan Tina.
I'm Zheng Kaiman Nila.
Okay, our presentation will cover 20 meters, include 8 Q&A sections. During the next 12 meters, we will cover following 7 sections. The first section is an insensitive summary, and we will go through the external and external analysis by SWOT model. The section 3 is strategy analysis and the implementation. The fourth section is a financial analysis and a projection. The 5th section is incident, and the 6th is survival provided by us, and the section 7 is a conclusion. So, next, section 1 is an insensitive summary. This report aims to settle the facing crisis of Zodiac Fashion Company Limited to attack the challenges. So, also we have discovered the profitability and the efficiency rate and the liquidity to our financial analysis and projections. Also, we will we will discover the strategies to remediate the recent challenges and the incident to dispose of every can to ICAC. The final, we will implementation the budget plan for the above recommendation. Now, next part will introduced by my partner, Zoe.
Thank you, Haley. In my part, I'll use SWOT analysis, which stands for Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, and Threats, to analyze the internal and external environment of the company. For the threats, the company has over 100-year-old history, which equipped it with historical accumulation. Also, thanks to an investor, the company is involved in a stock market, which gives it a relatively stable capital train. Also, as its head office was moved to Hong Kong, it has geographical advantages, and it also owns a superb design team who has international reputations. And as a new environmental friendly policy was public, the company now has a higher reputation. For weakness, an efficient management is needed due to the seasonal changed clothing market, and its sales channel is too single, as only a small part of products are sold through the internet, and the number of wholesale stores and retail stores unbalanced. Its advertising rates are also too single. Its two brands, in fact, actually have two different generations of customers. And the cost of manufacturing is increasing, as well as just-in-time purchasing. I think we suppose that the company also needs a formal mission statement which help others better understand its service. And for threats, the coronavirus has an adverse impact on the global economics, and the exchange rate is not stable. And the operating expenses are getting higher, and the competition between enterprises are intense. We suppose that opportunities are, as the pandemic is changing for better, the social activities is resuming, and the personal demands are increasing. Then, based on this analysis, we have some recommendations on business steps. What we suggest first is to change the original manufacturer to cheaper ones, and thus we can reduce the production cost. Then we suppose that diverse production is a good idea, like making one of them brand a light luxury brand. Also, sales activities can be organized to deal with the hoarding goods, and e-commerce is advised to develop, as well as increasing the number of stores. For publicity, we suppose that promotion on social media, as well as cooperation, can be good ideas. And finally, it may be beneficial to use a common currency and make established mission statement. And here is our employment plan and Gantt chart. In November 2021, we may just focus on two steps, that is, adjusting to new advertising methods and adjusting manufacturing company. And the duration and budget has been listed in the right side. Then in December, we suppose that we may only need to focus on developing classical products. Then in the whole 2022, we may mainly focus on 5 steps, that is, adjusting business strategies, setting up more e-shops, promoting the extension of localization, team building, and cooperation and corporations. Then in the final 2023, the key things are to refuse and to readjustment of production technology. Then it can be seen more clearly in the Gantt chart, with different colors stands for different steps. You can see that we may need about 3 months to prepare for our publicity, and then we need about a year to have our try. There's something about separating and picking the time expense may be lower, like half a month or a whole month. Then finally, something about sales relating to the whole market may account for more time, like 3 months, half a year, or even the whole year. So that's all from my part. The next session will be financial analysis and projections presented by Tina.
Let me analyze the current financial situation in terms of profitability, efficiency, and liquidity first. As you can see, all the indicators of profitability, gross profit ratio, net profit ratio, operating margin, and the return of capital employed, as well as the earning per share, decreased from 2019 to 2020. Moreover, the three indicators, net profit ratio, operating margin, ROCE, had great negative figures in 2020 because the pandemic COVID-19 severely hit the economy. Let's have a look at the efficiency now. From the graph, you can read that the inventory turnover days increased by 75.12 days from 2019 to 2020. It showed that ZFC's sales became slower in 2020. Besides, the trade receivable days increased by 96.34 days. It means the wholesale's ability in settle the account was worsened when compared to 2019. And the trade payable days increased by 53.93 days, so it indicates that ZFC's ability in settle the account was also worsened in 2020. Next line is liquidity ratios. In the chart, we can see all the ratios. Current ratio, quick ratio, and the cash ratio declined from 2019 to 2020 by average 0.77. Although the current ratio decreased from 2.33 to 1.58, which is still greater than 1, ZFC still had financial resources to remain solvent in the short term. From the quick ratios, it decreased from 1.73 to 0.94, which is slightly smaller than 1. Hence, it means ZFC slightly dependent on the inventory that can take time to liquidate. And the cash ratio decreased from 0.98 to 0.20, which is much lower than 0.5, showing that ZFC was unable to cover short-term debt obligation with its cash and equivalents in 2020. Next line, please. After the implementation of suggested strategies introduced by Zoe, the financial projection will increase within 3 years. Firstly, the net profit ratio would increase 21.3% and operating margin would increase 26.27% within 3 years. In addition, the current ratio would increase by 0.15 and the quick ratio as well as the cash ratio would increase by 0.08 within 3 years. And the earning per share would increase from negative 4.5 Hong Kong dollars to 2.89 Hong Kong dollars by 2023. Next, it's Layla's turn to introduce the incident.
Also, CFC company have one more problem. Due to the operation director Kim college with his mother-in-law to buy one fashion designer company and purchase the full board CFC to buy 100% one fashion in 2018. And company flew this problem from Peter Shu. There is a company facing two difficulties of trust crisis, internal and external. Inside internal crisis have two problems. One is a protection mechanism, and one is a legality. And the external crisis, there is three problems increased inside. One is incident because the external crisis is a reputation and moral due to the incident connected with the reputation of the company. Therefore, affect the stock market if the story was made public. We have the suggestion solution in the short term and the long term. For short term, companies should suspend Eric Kemp's duty and cooperate with ICAC. At the same time, to control the public opinion. There we have a proposing 4 solutions in long term. First is the building up the access required system, and second is organization the internet reporting system. And third is enhancing the communication and information system. And last part is reducing human manipulation factors. The Slick Labs is a service provided by us. We have provide two services. One is a consultation, and another one is an advisory.
Thank you, team number S008.